When Pope Benedict XVI stepped down in 2013, he said he wished to pass along the reins of the Church to a successor with the energy to face the challenges of today. And of course, we know what happened then. Today, Benedict lives a monk's life in the Vatican, yet his theology is not retired. It lives on and has yet to be fully discovered. 10 years after the publication of Benedict's first encyclical, Deus Caritas Est, on God's relation of love with the world, it's being revisited. Scholars gathered for 3 days at Rome's Lateran University at the end of November to discuss the contents of this deceivingly small book that contains the fruit of a whole life of theological endeavor. Among those who presented was Italian Cardinal Angelo Scola, an eminent theologian himself. His talk focused on the central theme of the book and the novelty of Benedict's thought on the forms of love known in Greek philosophy: eros, or sexual love, agape, self-sacrificing love, and philia, friendship, and their relationship with the teachings of Christ.
This is definitely the point in which the encyclical Deus Caritas Est has most innovation, because beforehand eros and agape were put in opposition. They were presented as elements that are irreconcilable and incompatible. But Cardinal Ratzinger showed that also the eros, coming from below, has impure elements, encounters agape as something that expresses more profoundly the desire of love, which in this case man urges for with regards to women. Every one of us lives within a determined sexual difference, and therefore by force of that difference is urged to go out of himself and encounter the other. The bodiliness of man is not just a simple matter, but can become a sacrament, as St. John Paul II says, the expression of the totality of the human person. The human body, in the full understanding of the term, is already a spiritual expression.
Deus Caritas Est touches on today's hot topics, and its teaching is as actual as ever. As such, it has stood up to critiques, which this American Dominican priest and professor has been studying.
The critiques of the encyclical reflect the three revolutions that have affected secular society, especially in the German and English-speaking worlds, since the 1960s. First, the broadly liberationist human rights movement, which the Church in many ways has made her own and has sanctified. However, there exist radical liberationist theorists, as you know, and they push the envelope on what is possible to be liberated from, for example, God's law. Secondly, there were critiques from the feminists, not the Christian feminists that John Paul II gave impulse to by his encyclical apostolic letter, in fact, Dignitatis Mulieris, but from the secular feminists who felt that the encyclical did not take account of their concerns. And then, sadly, some from the sexual revolution, including the gay revolution, who felt that the encyclical didn't pay enough attention to their concerns.
In the academic sphere, open to broad debate, the proponents outweigh the critics, and Deus Caritas Est is standing the test of time.
But by and large, roughly 70 to 80% of the journal literature that I surveyed, which in fact represents all of the major theological journals in the United States and Australia, the reception was warm.
The conference closed with two highlights. First, the Ratzinger Prize was given. Professor Nabil El-Khouri of Lebanon and Father Mario de Franca Miranda of Brazil received one each. Professor El-Khouri is the translator into Arabic of the life works of Joseph Ratzinger. Another highlight was the presentation of a master's program on the studies and spirituality of Joseph Ratzinger, which will be offered at the Augustinian University beginning in 2016.